I saw military taking over the Aso Rock. I am seeing military taking over the Aso Rock. I am seeing soldiers taking over the Aso Rock. I gave this message before.
Prophet Elijah Bamidele Ilukolo, the General Overseer of Christ House of Prayers and Deliverance Ministry, has shocked the nation with a powerful prophecy. He claims that God has shown him that the military is about to take over Aso Rock, the seat of Nigeria's government. According to the prophet, soldiers will storm the palace, and this message isn't new. He says it's a repetition of a vision he's had before, but now, more than ever, it feels urgent. The prophecy has stirred up serious conversations in Nigeria, especially as tensions rise within the country. But what exactly does it mean? Could we really see the military taking over? What does this mean for the current government and for the country as a whole? Prophet Ilukolo's message comes with a strong warning for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's calling on the president to act fast, to do something now before it's too late. The prophet mentions that there are plans underway both inside and outside Nigeria to make this military takeover a reality. He believes that what happened in Burkina Faso, where the military ousted the government in a coup, is about to happen in Nigeria. This kind of prophecy isn't something to take lightly. Whether people believe in it or not, it's causing waves in Nigerian society. Some are worried that the prophecy could be a sign of political instability. Others are calling it a wake-up call for action, urging the government to address issues of unrest before things get out of hand. Let's take a step back and look at the broader picture. Nigeria, as many know, is facing its own set of challenges. The economy, security issues, and political unrest have created an atmosphere of tension. In recent years, protests have taken place across the country. There have been growing calls for change, especially from those dissatisfied with the current leadership. With Prophet Ilukolo's prophecy, there's now a fear that the situation could escalate even further. Some Nigerians are concerned that the military might step in, as has happened in other countries. From Mali to Guinea to Sudan, military takeovers have been a part of Africa's recent history, and the fear is that Nigeria could be next. But why Aso Rock? Aso Rock is more than just the physical seat of government. It symbolizes the heart of Nigeria's political power. The president's office, the government's decision-making center, this is where all the critical decisions affecting the country are made. So when someone says the military could take over Aso Rock, it's not just about soldiers storming a building. It's about the very foundation of Nigerian democracy being under threat. Now let's talk about why this prophecy is so significant right now. Nigeria is currently dealing with some serious internal conflicts. The country has had its fair share of challenges over the years. From the military regimes of the past to the civilian government systems, Nigeria has seen a lot of political shifts. This prophecy brings back memories of those dark times when the country was under military rule. It's a chilling reminder that in times of unrest, the military has often been seen as a way to restore order. But is that really the solution? Would a military takeover make things better or worse? Prophet Ilukolo's call for President Tinubu to act is not just about political survival, it's about the future of the country. If a coup were to happen, it would not only affect the current administration, but could also change the political landscape in Nigeria for years to come. A military takeover would mean the suspension of democratic processes, civil liberties being restricted, and the country heading into a period of uncertainty. While some might see it as a necessary intervention to end the country's woes, others fear it could push Nigeria back into the kind of repression seen during past military regimes. At the heart of this prophecy is a warning about the growing dissatisfaction in the country. Nigeria, despite its vast resources, has long struggled with inequality, corruption, and poor governance. These issues have led to a sense of disillusionment among the people. Many feel that the government isn't listening to their concerns and that the military might be the only force capable of bringing about real change. But even if the military were to step in, would it solve Nigeria's problems or make them worse? Could it bring about the stability the country desperately needs, or would it plunge the nation into deeper chaos? The military's role in Nigerian politics is not a new phenomenon. In fact, Nigeria has a long history of military intervention. There was the military coup of 1966 that led to years of military rule, and then there was the military dictatorship of General Sani Abacha in the 1990s. For many Nigerians, these periods were marked by repression, corruption, and a lack of freedom. The scars from these times are still visible today, and the idea of returning to military rule is one that many would rather avoid. That's why this prophecy is so unsettling. However, some people believe that Prophet Ilukolo's message is a sign that the government must do more to address the concerns of the people. His prophecy could be seen as a call for the government to strengthen democracy, to address the issues of corruption, to improve security, and to make real changes that will improve the lives of ordinary Nigerians. The message seems to be that Nigeria cannot afford to ignore its problems any longer. If the government doesn't take action, the people might take matters into their own hands, and that could lead to even more instability. Now let's talk about what the government could do in response to this prophecy. President Tinubu has already faced criticism since taking office, and many Nigerians are waiting to see how he will handle the country's challenges. If the prophecy is true, then this could be a wake-up call for the government to take swift action. Strengthening democratic institutions, addressing corruption, and improving the economy could be key to preventing any sort of military takeover. But it's not just about responding to the prophecy. It's about responding to the real issues that Nigerians are facing every day. The message from Prophet Ilukolo also comes with a reminder to the government that time is of the essence. His warning that plans are being made within and outside the country, and these plans are serious. If President Tinubu and his administration don't act quickly, the situation could spiral out of control. The military's role in any country's political process should always be one of last resort. But the reality is that the military has often been called upon when civilian governments are unable to maintain order. Now, as Prophet Ilukolo's prophecy about a military takeover at Aso Rock spreads, it's important to consider the broader implications of what this could mean for Nigeria, both in the short term and long term. If we take a step back and examine the factors that might lead to such a prophecy, we can see the underlying issues of instability that have been brewing for years. Nigeria, despite being one of Africa's largest economies, has been grappling with serious challenges in governance, security, and economic inequality. The tension is felt not only at the top levels of government, but also in the streets and homes of everyday Nigerians. The country has experienced a number of protests and demonstrations in recent years. Whether it was the Estate EndSARS movement or protests over rising fuel prices, these have all been signals that people are frustrated and dissatisfied with the state of affairs. There is a deep sense of powerlessness among a lot of Nigerians who feel like their voices are not being heard. As the prophecy suggests, when the government fails to address the concerns of its citizens, there can be an erosion of trust, which paves the way for more extreme forms of political change. While most people would prefer a peaceful resolution to their issues, history shows that when people feel like there is no other option, drastic measures are sometimes taken. One of the reasons why Prophet Ilukolo's message has resonated so strongly with many Nigerians is because of the historical context surrounding military rule in the country. Nigeria has a long history of military coups and dictatorships. The last one happened in 1999, and ever since the country has been under civilian rule. But even under civilian governments, there's a palpable sense that the military is always lurking in the background. The military in Nigeria has a complex relationship with the government and the people. On the one hand, some Nigerians look to the military as a stabilizing force, someone who can restore order when civilian leaders fail to deliver. On the other hand, many Nigerians have experienced firsthand the horrors of military dictatorship, the suppression of free speech, the crushing of democratic institutions, and the disregard for basic human rights. The fear of military rule coming back isn't just based on the prophecy alone. It's grounded in the historical experience that military takeovers are a possibility if the country's leadership continues to weaken. Nigeria has had its fair share of political instability and it has witnessed military takeovers before. It's understandable that people might be fearful that this could happen again. If a coup were to take place, it would change the entire political system in Nigeria once again, and it would set the country back decades in terms of democratic progress. There's also the question of how the international community would react. Nigeria is a major player in Africa, and any political shift in the country would have ripple effects across the continent. A military coup would undoubtedly tarnish Nigeria's reputation globally and might lead to sanctions, trade restrictions, and a possible breakdown in diplomatic relations with other countries. The Nigerian economy, which has struggled for years with oil price fluctuations and internal challenges, would also take a severe hit. At the same time, it's important to note that President Tinubu's government is relatively new, and the country is still in the early stages of his administration. His ability to take decisive action on key issues such as corruption, economic growth, and security will determine how he is remembered in Nigerian history. If he can rise to the occasion and tackle these challenges head-on, he could prove to be the leader Nigeria needs to avoid a crisis. However, in order to do so, he must first regain the trust of the people. Prophet Ilukholo's message serves as a reminder of the growing distrust in the leadership. The people want tangible results. They want to see improvements in security, jobs, the economy, and the general well-being of the country. This is where many politicians, including Tinubu, face their greatest test: how to balance the expectations of the citizens with the limitations of the political system. The other concern is the role of the military itself. While the military has historically been a force of intervention, it must be reminded that in a democracy, the military is supposed to be neutral and serve the people, not assume power. The military must stay committed to protecting the constitution and ensuring that civilian rule prevails. The fact that some Nigerians might see the military as a savior to bring order isn't ideal, as it sets a dangerous precedent for the country's future. The military should never be seen as a solution to the country's governance issues. The true solution lies in the strength of democratic institutions and political leadership. Prophet Ilukholo's prophecy may also be seen as a call for introspection for Nigeria's politicians and leadership. Whether the prophecy will come to pass or not, it forces Nigerians to ask themselves some very tough questions. What does the future of their democracy look like? Are the issues within the government so great that they could result in a return to military rule? What will it take for the country to truly address its challenges? For the average Nigerian, the impact of these questions is very real. Nigerians want peace, prosperity, and a government that works for them, not against them. The fear of military intervention is not just theoretical. It's based on a lived experience of past political turmoil. The country has already gone through enough suffering. Nigerians deserve better. They deserve to live in a country where they feel heard, where they feel safe, and where they can trust their leaders to do the right thing. For Nigerians, the message is clear. The country is at a crossroads. Prophet Ilukholo's prophecy has brought attention to the growing discontent in the country. And now it's up to the government to ensure that the people's voices are heard. If the military does take over, it will be a setback for the country. But it could also serve as a catalyst for the government to finally make the changes that Nigerians have been calling for. The question is, will the government take action before it's too late? Only time will tell, but for now, Nigeria watches and waits, hoping that peace and democracy can prevail over the growing tensions. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more updates on this story. Stay tuned, because as this situation unfolds, we'll be right here bringing you all the latest news and insights.